human being lives a Jannah on earth. You might think a person does when you see him or her with something that you don't have. But the reality is that every single human being without exception is struggling in some fashion, form or manner. Every one of us is being tested. That's what life is about. So there are certain verses that we should memorize and use so that we can insha'Allah ta'ala overcome these struggles. First verse, all of you know it. It's a rule that we should all memorize. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Allah never sends down a difficulty, except that along with the difficulty, there is a yusr, an ease. The meaning here, the same difficulty Allah sends down, He will send down multiple ease. So, if you are struggling financially, Allah is saying, don't worry, your health will be good. If you have a health issue, Allah is saying, you have loving family. If you have a family problem, Allah is saying, society is at peace. In other words, whatever difficulty you are facing, Allah is saying, I'm going to give you multiple ease that will make other aspects easy for you, even as you struggle with this difficulty. The second verse that we should remind ourselves of is, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. No soul is going to be burdened with more than what it can bear. What this indicates is beautiful. Some people, they think, I can't bear this, it's too much for me. The struggle is too hard. I don't have what's in me. And to them we say, your Creator knows that you have it in you to overcome. You might not trust yourself, your Creator trusts you. You might not believe in yourself, Allah knows that you can do it. Is trusting in you in the sense here that Allah knows you can do it. Never does a calamity happen to a believer. Never does a tragedy occur to a believer, except that at the end of the tragedy or the calamity, the believer is the victor. The mu'min, the believer, is never a loser. The third verse of optimism, one of the most powerful verses of optimism when we're facing a calamity or a tragedy. Memorize this verse, Surah Tawbah. Beautiful verse. Say, Allah is telling you to say this. Allah wants you to memorize this. قُلْ لَنْ يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا هُوَ مَوْلَانَا وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ. Say, nothing shall happen to us except that Allah has already decreed this for us. Do you know what Mawla means? Mawla means the one who's in charge of protecting you. That's what Mawla means. Mawla means He is in charge of your nourishment. He is in charge of your health. He is in charge of your safety. That's what Mawla means. So if Allah has planned it and He's our protector, then surely the one who is our protector will protect us and guide us and manage our way out. Learn it from the mouth of our Prophet Musa alayhi salam. When he was fleeing, the children of Israel are in the desert. The army of Fir'aun, trained soldiers on horses, archers, the whole entire 9 yards, the military is there. And they're running and fleeing on foot. And they get to the Red Sea. And what do the Bani Israel say? The Bani Israel, they don't have that iman. Inna lamudrakun. Khalas, we're gone. Fir'aun's gonna catch us up. We're gonna die. What did Musa say? Memorize it and then use it. Kalla inna ma'iya rabbi sayahdeen. I have Allah. How can I possibly lose? Allah is with me. Inna ma'iya rabbi. My Lord will find a way out for me. That's what you call optimism. Madad e mere Allah, Madad, 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 Madad e mere Allah, Madad, 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 Madad e mere Allah, Madad, Madad, Madad,
Mata Nasrullah. When will the help of Allah come? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ala inna Nasrullahi qareeb. Indeed, the help of Allah is near. وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. Allah says that He is closer to us than our jugular vein.
देख क्या चाहता हूँ सितम हो के हो वादाए बेहिजाबी कोई बात सब्र आज़मा चाहता हूँ मदद 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 ए मेरे अल्लाह मदद 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 ए मेरे अल्लाह जरा सा तो दिल हूँ मगर शोख इतना वही लंतरानी सुन
these people and these things and then, why should I be? I will not. So when you are told the ruler of the rulers, the Almighty, King of the King, the Creator is with you. If you have Iman, you should never feel weak. If you have Iman, you will never, you can afford. If you have Iman in this, and if you feel weak, suffer from inferiority complex, and when you see some, other people who are not amongst you and you feel inferior, yes sir, like this thing, as if you are their servant or your maid, and you are afraid, committed shirk. You are committed shirk, polytheism. This is what is the way of the people who belong to Allah. Allah told Dawood alayhi salam, Dawood, I'm with you. Go and wage war against, Goliath. Dawood said, Labbaik. So there were about 12,000 of them. So when they crossed the river, they lapped the water, their stomach swelled, they kept lying there. They were told not to drink water, right? Then 330 were left. Out of 330, when they saw Goliath, he was 12 feet tall, his leg dragging on the ground, sitting on the horse. They said, today we can't face him. They were left. So Allah Ta'ala spoke in the Holy Quran, the tongue of Dawood. Many small groups of Jamaat had bigger, powerful, armies with the help of Allah. Then Allah was with David, right? Dawood alayhi salam, 20 years old, and he had his sling in his hand, and he had made some slingshots in his hand, and he's walking. He said, oh boy, what do you want? You have a message to give me? He said, no. So he could never think that this boy has come to fight with him. So he goes very close to him and goes around and around with the string, round, and let the sling open and go. It hit him in the head, and that went through. And he just fell down, his head on the ground, legs in the air. You understand? Because Allah was with him. When the army of the Kafir were advancing, Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was a bit apprehensive, and he picked up a handful of dirt, rocks and pebbles in that, and threw it toward them. Each Kafir got in his eye that thing. Shooting pain in the eyes, they started howling, and then they started retreating. Allah was with him to such an extent that Allah says, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذَا رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. وَمَا رَمَيْتَ, you didn't throw when you threw. But your Allah threw. This is the highest level of annihilation and subsisting in Allah, that your action are no more your action. Your action are Allah's action. Your saying is Allah's saying. Your seeing is Allah's seeing. Your walking is Allah's walking. Allah says in Hadith Qudsi, Hadith Qudsi, in private, wahi which was never became part of Holy Quran, understand? Which is never cited. So, Ya Rasulullah, when my servant accepts riyada and zikr and nawafil, then I become his eyes which he sees, his hearing by which he hears, everything. What is left? Nothing. He becomes a conduit through whom Allah's will is exercised.